This is my daughter Elise, and we're going to show you how to make a birdhouse today. This is specifically a chickadee birdhouse, just from the measurements that we used that they recommend online, but it would work for other birds too, I think. And there's lots of ways you could go about building this birdhouse. You don't necessarily have to follow this exact process, but this is what a process I think would help you out to be more successful. So the first thing you're going to want to do is sand some of these parts. So these parts just need the corners sanded a little bit. I might wear some gloves because these are pretty pokey. They might give you some splinters. So you're looking to sand, there's 4 parts that you'll have to sand. The 2 wings, the head, and the tail will need sanded probably the most. So this will be the parts that you get in your kit. You'll have 2 side pieces, 2 wings, a head, a top, essentially a bottom, a back, a front, and a tail. So those are the parts you're going to have with your kit. I'm also going to give you a nail that has the head cut off. So I took just a regular nail and I cut the head off so you can put it in a drill to help you pre-drill some of these parts. That's kind of up to you. This is pine, so you don't necessarily have to pre-drill. Pre-drilling will just help you help keep you more accurate and take away a little bit of the frustration. First part we're going to start off on is the front and the bottom, so to speak. So the front has a hole in it, and it has an angle on the top and an angle on the bottom, so it's not a 90-degree cut. The bottom piece also has an angle on one side, but on the other side it's 90 degrees. So we're going to try to put it together like this. So that way they line up and the angles work out together. So
I'm going to set this up. Okay, go ahead and grab the drill there.
Alright, so now we have this put together. This should not be a 90-degree angle. We're a little bit off there. It's about a 5-degree angle, and that's what we want. And so now we're not actually going to nail this on to the next piece yet, but we're going to set this up. We'll put together here. We're going to take the side pieces. They kind of have a weird shape to them. This part is the top, so it gets larger at the top, smaller at the bottom. And we're going to just set this, we're not going to nail this on, we're just going to set this down here, and then we're going to line it up like this. So we're just going to try to line up these 2 pieces now, the back and the side. All right, go ahead and grab your drill again.
Go vertical with the drill. Yeah, perfect. Go.
Alright, so she's got one side nailed onto the back now. So at this point, we can start to position the front and the bottom. What I noticed with the designs is that this should not be flush here. I'm leaving an 1/8" gap for, I think they have that so little air can vent out the birdhouse there. So we're trying to actually leave a little bit of a gap at the top. But we want it almost flush at the bottom. So that's the first part we'll start off with, is putting a nail right here at the bottom to make that flush. So let's put a nail there.
Use the drill again if you want. Nope.
Alright, so while she was nailing that, I was kind of pinching this tight for her so that way you wouldn't have a gap there at the bottom. So now we can come up here and we can put a nail kind of closer to the top. We're going to put it on this side, but we're just going to leave that little vent there. It's around 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit more. Okay, so you want to get your drill again. And Alright, so now we're trying to put together the top. We have the base done, we have the front, the bottom, the sides. We might put a couple more nails in there, but pretty much good to go. So now we have to work on the top. The top is going to be a little tricky, just the way you have to hold on to it. We chose to use some screws on the top. So you'll notice there's some pre-drilled holes right here. That's where we're going to put the screws in, not the ones that are on the edge. The grain's going to go this way, the same direction as the head. So the grain will go this way. If you decide you don't really want to use screws, you can put nails next to these screw holes instead. We decided to use screws. The plywood is a little bit dense, so this will be a little bit tricky to get in there. So we're going to put this center that. Okay. I'll go slow on the trigger. I'll push the trigger super hard. Okay. Perfect. All right, so we have one screw in. We line the head up to the back here. So there's the one screw. Now we're going to put one more right here on this side. I'm checking to make sure it's centered. We want the screw to go right in the middle of the plywood. Okay, you don't need the hammer. Got it. Okay, go slow on the trigger. One quick tip on using the drill is you're going to want to go slow on the trigger. If you have a variable speed trigger, just push it in a little ways, but put a lot of pressure on the back of the drill. If you go too fast, it just tends to overspeed. So both screws are in this now. Now we're just going to nail on the wings. It's really up to you how you do that. There's no, in the sample, the wings kind of went right up to the top of the edge of the top, and they had a little bit of an angle to them. They angled out the back a little bit, but it's up to you how you do the wings. You might have to pre-drill because this is plywood. It'll be a little hard to hammer right through there, but it's possible. So all this is put together now. We have not been using glue on this, but if you would like to use some glue, that would not be a bad idea. Hopefully your paint would seal the glue in, because if this is going to be outside, you would need more of a waterproof type of glue, like a Titebond 2 or something. But even the white school glue would help as far as holding it together until after you get a good coating of paint on there. We debated a little bit about the tail. The sample had a tail on it, and I don't know. I don't know how you mount it up against the tree exactly with the tail on, or the pole, but I did provide you a tail, or we did, so go ahead and grab a screw on this. So we're just going to put the tail just a little below where the sides end. This part will be a little tricky because it's an angled hole, so you'll have to really help hold them in there. Light on the trigger. Just squeeze the trigger a little bit on that. Okay. Okay, that's good. You got it? I don't think nails on the tail would hold up. So now all we have is the top to put on. So we have all this done, and now we're just, our next goal is to put on the top. The top, I'm thinking we should use screws on the top so you can take the top off and clean out the debris after every season. One thing with the top, I'm going to provide you a little longer screws. So the longer two screws I think we should put in the top. They're more of a brown color. They're just a 1/4 inch longer. So we're excited to see you complete these, and I'd love to see a picture of the final product. It'd be really neat for you to paint them up nice, and make it some chickadee colors or whatever you want. So we hope you had a good time building this. Hopefully you got away from the screen a little bit, got outside, used some hands-on kind of experience here, and we're saying bye now. So have a good day, and have some fun with your project. you doing over here?
Getting the wings out.
You're taking out some wings? All right.